Hi, I'm Mike Beck, and this is I'm doing a podcast here in a beautiful guitar store. Happy to be here, beautiful Carmel, California. And this is a song that I wrote for the horse. Maybe some of you know some of the other things I do is go travel around, help people with their horses. So I wanted to write one for the horse. This is on my latest album called Tribute, and this is called Don't Hurt My Heart. Well, I fought with you at the Crusades, and I fell with you at the Little Big Horn. Crossed the plains and plowed your fields. I've been serving you since I was born. Yet I met some men with kind hands. Others, you know, they're harder still. Yeah, they work me hard, then they give me the whip. Never thinking about how I feel. So don't sore my back. Don't you jerk my mouth. Don't hurt my heart, and I'll run to you. Yeah, and I've been a cow pony out in the sage, and I sailed with Spain across the sea. And I made kings out of common men. How come it's taking you so long to feel for me? So don't sore my back. Don't you jerk my mouth. Don't hurt my heart, and I'll run to you. I'll try for you. We come together. Yeah, we can fly. We can fly. Forgive all my wildness lost, but that flame, it still burns. Haven't I always given you my all? And I've asked so little in return. So don't sore my back. Don't you jerk my mouth. Don't hurt my heart. Don't hurt my heart. Yeah, don't you hurt my heart. out in the heavens tonight. There's a secret star out on the road tonight. Yeah, I wonder where you are. With your high-heeled boots and your skin so brown. Oh, baby, that's before the moon fell down. How many years ago were you and I? How long has it been since you had that look in your eye? And we swore we'd always ramble, never take a job in town. Oh, baby, that's before the moon fell down. Yeah, the world is tougher on folks like you, who ain't afraid to wear their heart on the sleeve. Whose humble dreams of things truer never lost the courage to believe. Well, if I was over on yonder ridge, my last strength I'd have fought by your side. Now the coyotes, they sing a little sadder tonight. A little piece of me died down deep inside. Yeah, I'm down here in Mexico, wandering the streets of some old border town. But I'll always remember back before the moon fell down. Yeah, I'll think back how it was back before the moon fell down. This is a song I wrote for this new album called Tribute, which I put together a collection of horse songs, stuff I wrote, stuff I love, and gathered up. And all the proceeds from the sale of this tribute album go to this project that we started down in Austin, Texas, putting discarded horses and veterans together. And I was thinking, what would cause people to get all these horses that are standing around in the backyard out and use them again? And so I came up with this. It's called 20 Bucks a Gallon. Yeah, when gas goes 20 bucks a gallon, get me out of the old backyard. Swing that saddle up on my back. I promise I'll work real hard. I'm tired of standing staring over the fence. I wanna see the lights of town. When gas goes to 20 bucks a gallon, I won't let you down. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, 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 yeah. Well, I'll take your kids to school in the morning, pick them up at 4. Haul your drunk ass home from the bar, bring the groceries to your door, right up to the door. Yeah, you can cancel that car insurance and that old AAA magazine. All I want is fresh grass hay and my water trough kept clean. That's not much. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, 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 yeah. Boys used to stare at Corvettes, shiny old GMCs. Now they got their eye on the buckskin standing underneath that tree. Yeah, he's sure a little dandy. He can really step in prance. Take them boys to the football game, ride double with your girl to the dance. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, when gas goes to 20 bucks a gallon, get me out of the old backyard. Swing that saddle up on my back. I promise I'll work real hard. It's time to get up off the couch and shut off that big TV. 'Cause life is short, we're going for a ride. Just be you and me. Yeah. This is a musician's lament, I might call this. All the little things about, well, some of the little things about playing, out there playing. Lots of things us musicians will put up with. Get our music here to you tonight. But if we see you smile and grin, you know we've done Ride around in a van, smells like pizza, beer, and cigarettes. I got pulled over by the police tonight on the way to you. We complied to all the requests, we want no trouble with the law. I told that officer something that just won't do. Yeah, just won't do. Yeah, I won't play Mustang Sally. And we don't do Margaritaville. There's always some drunk chick wants to get up and sing crazy. Absolutely positive, no wagon wheel. No wagon wheel. Lost a drummer in Oklahoma. Lost my heart up in Maine. Got subjected to a full body search down at LAX. Then they smashed my guitar on the plane. On the plane. Backstage they've set out a science project. Round some parts it's called a fruit tray. And the sound man has smoked way too much reefer by the time it comes our turn to play. Yeah, turn to play. Yeah, but we don't do Mustang Sally. And we don't do Margaritaville. There's always some drunk dude wants to get up, blow some harp at the band. Absolutely positive, no wagon wheel. No wagon wheel. They got the nightclubs down in Hollywood, California. You want to work there, it's them you gotta pay. There's no extra charge for the break-in of the van. You got a shout out from the stage for a place to stay. Anybody got a couch? So we ended up at this little soiree. They was swinging from the rafters, tearing the joint down. Some midget shot out the lights when the police busted in. They arrested us and they took us all downtown. Yeah, we went downtown. Stood for that judge in his courtroom. Said, I'll let you go, you gotta do one thing for me. Get out your guitar, play my favorite song. Hey man, you guys know Mustang Sally? Yeah, we don't do Mustang Sally. And we don't do Margaritaville. You can lock me up, yeah, throw away the key. Absolutely positive, no wagon wheel. No wagon wheel. Yeah, we don't do Mustang Sally. Don't do Margaritaville. There's always some drunk redneck here wants to hear Sweet Home Alabama. Absolutely positive, no wagon wheel. No wagon wheel. Yeah.
So welcome everybody to episode 7 of the National Music Sanctuary. Again, we're in lovely Rumble Seat Music in Carmel, California. We want to thank Elliot and Bijan for putting us up. And we've got the gracious Mike Beck who's come and played some wonderful songs for us. And just kind of want to jump right into it here and have Mike talk about his most recent project, which is pretty exciting. So I'm going to let him run with it.
It's a collection of songs, mostly songs about the horse. A lot of stuff I wrote and some songs I've loved. There's an Ian Tyson song on there, and he was a good friend of mine. And there's a couple songs for veterans. And what it all the album is called Tribute, and all proceeds from this album go to benefit this pilot project that I was involved in starting in Austin, Texas. The Joyful Horse Project is what it's called. It's a group of people that have really great people, and they've taken in some horses that people couldn't afford to feed anymore, and the price of hay went through the roof after the fires down there in Texas. And so the lady is named Beth Rand that runs it. She's a smart gal, and so they're not warehousing horses. She's taken in a number that's doable, so they get some good care for their feet, and they get worked and handled, and then she gets them placed into a family or onto a ranch, someplace where somebody can use them.
Can I interrupt you just a second? Because when we talked about this prior to doing this, our pre-interview, you told the story of meeting Beth, is that her name? And how that all sort of happened.
Yeah, I was down there in Austin playing, and then somebody found out about the other thing I do is travel all over and help people with their horses. I go all over the world, and so they said, hey, we got this horse and this mare. She's 8 years old, this paint mare, and nobody can touch her. You can't get near her, and she's had like 7 owners in 8 years. And she had a halter on her. Halter had been on her for over a year or something, and they just wanted to start handling her, and they couldn't even touch her, so you couldn't get the halter off. So they called me, and I helped them with that, and they said, well, we got one more over here. Could you help us with that one? I said, sure. And I found out that these horses belong to this Joyful Horse Project, and that Beth Rand started, and so then they said, well, Beth is going to call you up about doing a benefit for them, and so she called me up and gave me her spiel, and I said, okay, told me what they do. And I said, well, I'm going to tell you what I do is I'm out there in the trenches, lady. I'm helping these people with these horses all over the place, and I keep it affordable, and it's very real, and it's very small, so I can really spend some time with people and the horse. And so I said, I'd love to, love to play your benefit, but I want to get paid. I'll give you a great deal. And she said, absolutely, I want to pay you. There was this respect right from the start. And so we really hit it off, and I got more involved with them. And then the veterans came into the mix.
So first it was just solely just to take abandoned or neglected horses,
right,
and kind of act like an animal rescue sort of shelter that helps connect the dots, basically.
Yeah.
And then from that it grew into realizing that maybe these horses would be of service to people that have gone through traumatic events. Correct?
Right. And that happened by just very organically. There was a lady that came back from Afghanistan, and they pretty much had her drugged, up, and she said she just sat on the couch all day, and she was very depressed, and things weren't going so good for her. And then she basically looked over the fence and said, what's going on over there? And so she wandered over there, and they said, hey, you want to catch one of these horses and lead it over here? She said, I don't know how. We'll show you. You want to brush one? Okay. And so she started having a purpose and a meaning, just like the horse needs in their lives. To, so it just, the drugs went away, and it really benefited her in a big way. And she knew other people that come on board, other vets, men and women. Most of them are from Afghanistan and Iraq. There's some people that have been involved in other things like Bosnia and different things.
But mostly young kids in the early 20s or kids.
Yeah, and
young people.
Yeah, and mostly, we don't clinically analyze them. It's people that want to show up and be involved in this. And what I saw was this was going on, and this was a perfect match, because the way the veterans, from sitting and just talking to them, the way their take on it was, hey, these horses have been discarded, and so have we. And so there's this bond, and so to develop trust, the beginning of a relationship, it's based on a lot of things, and trust is a big thing. So it's really benefiting the horses just to be handled. And it's benefiting these men and women. And then Beth is so smart, she'd get these retired colonels and admirals to come, and I started seeing my eyes open to a whole thing about the veterans. A lot of elements involved, and a lot of these guys that were officers, my take on it is that they went, we asked these young men and women to do a really really tough job, and we will never forget him. And so that it's his family of people. And then the Vietnam vets have come in, and what I've seen from that is they're going like, we're not going to let happen to this other generation of veterans what happened to us. And so there's this big bond of support and
multi-generational bond from various engagements and the community coming forward to kind of support this.
Yeah.
So talk a little bit more about how it moved from your second job, which is as a, I don't know if you call that your first job, but I want to say horse whisperer, but you lectured me and told me that that's not the appropriate term. So
I always say there's just one horse whisperer, that's Robert Redford. But it's working with horses. There's nothing magical about it. It's changing the way you think about things. And so, without going to the Oprah show right away, it's about people reaching inside and then taking a good look at their shit and having to change it, and having to.
But how did it go from that to a tribute CD?
Okay, I'm getting to that.
Okay, sorry.
The tribute CD was, I was driving down the road and I always thought about having a collection of horse songs. So I called Beth and said, hey, I'm the king of making a cheap record. I know how to make them cheap, man. And you pay for that, and I will, do my best to promote it, and all proceeds can go to you guys. So she just went, yeah. And so we had a great time making this record. I made the record during the week when I was in Austin, and on the weekends I got together with the veterans and the horses. And so we've given it over to the veterans, and they're kind of going on with it on their own, and it's an amazing thing, and how much it's benefiting these people. And I was like, is this really going to help them? And they were just on such a high from just being around those horses, and if they could just get them and rub them, and it's great for the horses to be handled in different ways, and it allows them to be more placeable with somebody, more adoptable, whatever. The tribute album is a bunch of stuff I wrote, songs.
Old stuff or stuff you wrote just for this particular project?
Some of the stuff that I've done before I re-recorded. And there's 2 songs from the veterans. I didn't want to get too heavy into that, but I thought the title tribute would fit both the horse and the veterans. And so there's a song on there I wrote about a girl I know that went to Iraq. And there's another, and then I covered this old Canned Heat song called "Work Together." I just love the lyric in it, and so it's just a really great project, and it's, like I say, all proceeds go to it, and it's got a release date of September 17th. So
people want to find it, they can look for it through CD Baby or through your website?
Through CD Baby and through the Joyful Horse Project.org, and they're selling them right there, and then I'm selling them at shows. And October 18th, I'm doing a CD release concert party down in Austin at this place called Travasa, and then I'm doing a 2-day clinic at the same place the following day. So horse clinic or guitar clinic? Horse clinic, yeah. Cool. And so it's based out there. I think it's going to grow more. I mean, I sort of like just gone, okay, here, and Beth is running with it, and other people are reaching out, and by playing by since I've been out on tour doing this stuff, I mean, so many people are coming up and talking about something, their brother, their father, their sister, their lover, their wife, something. People are getting more and more affected by this. It's growing in numbers of the people that have been affected by this war, all the wars, whatever they are, and it's a wonderful project. It's a great fit. The veterans, they're very task oriented, from their training, and they need to develop a bond of trust with each other when they're out there doing their job, whatever it is. So it's a good fit.
Mm-hmm. Good team building. Good community building. Great. Well, I wanted to take a minute, Mike, and talk to you about, I know you're a native in part of the Central Coast. Mm-hmm. I don't know your story, whether you were born here or not, but can you tell us a little bit about that and how this beautiful place of the Central Coast of California between Santa Cruz and Big Sur affects your songwriting in any way?
Yeah, I grew up in this area, and it was a great place. I always tell people to grow up and be in love with music and horses, because when I was 13, I didn't live too far from the Monterey Fairgrounds. I went to the Monterey Pop Festival to see the Beach Boys. They didn't show up. They hired Otis Redding and Booker T instead. So all this stuff was over my head, but I think it got into my fiber. And after that, on the weekends in Monterey, all these bands would come down from San Francisco. We didn't get a lot of LA bands here, but we didn't get the Doors or stuff like that. But, we'd have these great shows at the fairgrounds or up at the junior college. And so it was and it's affected my writing. A lot of my songs are, about this area. And as far as the ranching songs, about the cowboy, California has a beautiful, deep, romantic history of cattle and horses that goes back to Spain, that most people have forgot because they go, oh, California, Baywatch, okay. But actually it's there's a huge story here, and there's a big well to draw on for writing songs about this area, and I've got a lot of them, that I've recorded and that my band, the Bohemian Saints, plays out. And it's just you are affected by where you grow up, for sure. It was a great place to grow up and be in love with music, yeah.
And how does that part of the band work for you these days? Because I see you a lot playing as a singer-songwriter, but I also know Tom Ayers, who's also a local resident that a lot of people's name will, he's part of the Bohemian Saints. Mm-hmm. But you guys can only kind of do limited tours as a full band?
Yeah. Just the logistics of it all, but we do get out and play, and we're playing more special events, more festivals or something like that, where it makes it worthwhile. Because actually, for a town that had, Jimi Hendrix burn his guitar in this town, to me, like when the Beatles played on the Ed Sullivan Show, the next day the whole world of music was different. And when Hendrix burned his guitar, I think the next day everything was different. And for a town that had that happen, it really isn't celebrated in this town that much, So we travel and play a lot of different places, but when we play in Austin, we sound like, the Jefferson Airplane or something, because it sounds so West Coast compared to the other stuff out there, So it's in us, man. We're a West Coast band, and it's a great feeling. We draw on a lot of, it's all stuff I wrote, but we take it out. It's really got quite a feel to it. It's a unique sound. It's a very West Coast sound, and I draw on, my influences are the '60s and the radio and records, and so there's a lot of Quicksilver kind of feel in it. We search for that moment, on stage, and often we find it where you get up to another level and you just drop into this zone, and that's what when it feels so good there, you'll look for it all the time, and so we take the risk of going there, and we get there a lot.
I want to thank you for coming out to the National Music Sanctuary, Mike. You're our lucky seven. I've been a longtime fan of yours since way back in the day when I heard you on K-Pig, and so the last thing I want to ask you to do is to sign Jasmine, who is our little mascot with all of her growing names of, well, just watch the other podcasts and you can figure out who the other signatures are. But right now we're going to ask Mike Beck to add his name to this, as big as he'd like, wherever he'd like. And
cool. Well, I'll give Jasmine the old Mike Beck signature right up here. It's a good place to do it. There you go, man. Thank you for having me on the show. It's
Thanks
great
so
to be
much,
here.
brother.
All right.
Good luck in the future.
All right, same to you guys, man.
That's a wrap.
Swing that saddle up on my back. I promise I'll work real hard. I'm tired of standing staring over the fence. I wanna see the lights of town. When gas goes $20 a gallon.